It is back, and we're also getting some of those mid to high level clouds, suggesting some humidity, a little added cloud coverage, bringing us a risk of some thunderstorms. Boy, it looks like a beautiful start here at the Surf and Sand in Laguna Beach. You're never going to find a bad live shot here. And certainly, even though it's cloudy, it looks like a beautiful start to the day here along the coast. We will settle into some sunshine, warmer weather. 86 degrees downtown today. That is above the average. By the way, we're on the final hours of summer. Fall officially arrives just after 11 a.m. this morning. It will feel like summer over the next couple of days. Also feel a little bit more tropical as well as we get that humidity back, also throwing a slight risk of some thunderstorms. Better chance of thunderstorms middle of the week, and then the end of the week starting to feel a little more fall-like with the cool down and drier conditions. I think you'll like the forecast as a whole. I'll give you all those details coming up in just a few minutes. Hopefully you like the commute. For that, we go to the expert. Ginger, good morning.
Well, I wish I could say that it's just as pretty as what we're seeing here in Laguna Beach, right? But it is a little bit tough. We're here to help you out. So we know that they can't clear this SIG alert by the time they originally wanted to. The CHP originally said maybe about 7:45 to 8 o'clock, so it's still going on. We have this closure. So the street closure would be right here, Gower Street, between Yucca over to Franklin. You see where the white tent is, so that's where the fatality investigation continues here involving a motorcyclist. They're waiting for the medical examiner who should be arriving on scene soon. Until then, though, we have the SIG alert on the streets. And then remember, you can't exit the freeway here, so it's the 101 North, the Gower Street exit that remains closed. Let's move you over to look at our other SIG alert. We have a great camera to show us the conditions on the 91 freeway, the eastbound side right here at McKinley Street. Excuse me, it's a real-time traffic map. We know that the right lane is blocked, and that's all because of this really bad crash where the driver may have been hit several times. We know there was a transport to the hospital, but the right lane is still closed here. It's interesting, though, because it looked to me like a lot of that damage may have been done to the fencing. So maybe he skidded across the lanes, but the fence over to the right is the reason that that right lane closed. Look at the heavy conditions there going east through Corona. That's pretty bad and tough. So we'll watch that as well for everybody. But you see it, westbound side is slow, but that is kind of normal. We're going to keep our eyes on all these things. I'll send it over to you guys.
President Trump today expected to announce some major new claims regarding autism. He's expected to try and link the disorder to Tylenol use in pregnant women. The maker of Tylenol says it is safe and effective. KTLA's Eric Spillman in the newsroom with more. Eric, good morning.
Morning, Frank. Some very prominent medical researchers are calling the president's claims reckless, unproven, and even dangerous. The Washington Post is reporting that he will announce that one medication is linked to autism and another can help treat it. But some medical experts are saying there's just not enough evidence.
I think you're going to find it to be amazing. I think we found an answer to autism. How about that? Autism.
The president speaking at the memorial service for Charlie Kirk yesterday. Later today, he and federal health officials will speak to reporters. According to the Washington Post, they plan to raise health concerns about pregnant women using the pain reliever acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol. They will say there is a link between the use of Tylenol early in a pregnancy and autism. Autism spectrum disorder is a developmental condition. It can impact a person's social skills, communication, and relationships. It has been diagnosed at a higher rate in children in recent decades. These days, the CDC says 1 in 31 8-year-olds has a form of autism. 25 years ago, it was 1 in 150. The Post is reporting Trump administration health officials plan to warn against pregnant women using Tylenol early on unless they have a high fever.
I think it's going to be a very important news conference. And we want things to take effect immediately. You know, if there's a question, even if there's a question, you just do it, right?
Also, according to media reports, federal health officials are expected to recommend a drug called leucovorin as a possible treatment for autism. This is a drug often prescribed to counteract side effects of cancer medications. Some early trials have shown giving the drug to children with autism can improve their ability to speak and understand others. But many researchers have serious doubts about these new recommendations. They say a lot more research is necessary.
I know myself and frankly all of my physician colleagues are incredibly worried that women are going to take these claims as truth and actually indirectly cause harm to their unborn children. Autism is a syndrome that we've been studying for decades. If there was a single reason why or a single cause for autism, we would have found it.
The company that makes Tylenol, Kenvue, has issued this statement. Quote, the facts are that over a decade of rigorous research endorsed by leading medical professionals and global health regulators confirms there is no credible evidence linking acetaminophen to autism. We stand with the many public health and medical professionals who have reviewed this science and agree. End quote. Some 50% of pregnant women take Tylenol. The president of the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology says he hopes women will consult with their doctors about what types of pain relievers to use. He says they should ignore these claims coming out of Washington, D.C. Frank?
All right, Eric, thank you for that. The Pentagon is putting new restrictions on independent journalists. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announcing Friday that reporters must now sign a pledge to refrain from reporting information that has not been authorized for release. That includes even unclassified information. Journalists who don't sign that pledge could lose their credentials. National Press Club says the policy is an assault on independent journalism. Reporters are now also banned from entering wide areas of the Pentagon without a government escort.
An alarming discovery causing concern for Southern California's Jewish community. A swastika sticker was placed on a Tesla just days before the start of Rosh Hashanah tonight. KTLA's Jacqueline Sarkeesian live in Studio City with more. Jacqueline, good morning.
Hey, Jess, good morning to us. Well, yes, a lot of people within the Jewish community are deeply concerned over what happened over the weekend. It's not the first time something like this has happened, but it is the most recent case. And like you mentioned, with Rosh Hashanah just happening this week, it is very alarming. We do have some video of this incident. The owner of the car who found the swastika sticker on her Tesla was deeply concerned and stunned, in fact, when she saw the sticker. You can see the man wearing a bucket hat caught placing the sticker on the parked Tesla. We're blurring the man's face because LAPD is not investigating nor looking for him at the moment. The car's dash cam captured the incident. The who
All right, another technical snafu there. We'll get back when we can. Some people worry that the rapid federal cleanup from January's wildfires resulted in unsafe conditions for residents looking to rebuild their homes. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers reported it had finished clearing roughly 2.6 million tons of wreckage from nearly 9,700 properties over the course of 8 months. However, experts worry the fast cleanup prioritized speed over safety. A team of university scientists who tested soil samples say nearly 50% of the cleared land still had elevated levels of lead, much higher than California's standards for residential properties. The Army Corps says speed is not an indication of poor workmanship, rather a reflection of the urgency to address a public health threat.
Nearly 20,000 volunteers statewide cleaned up trash at beaches, parks, and rivers over the weekend as part of Heal the Bay's Coastal Cleanup Day. Volunteers collected 140,000 pounds of trash and an added 38,000 pounds of recyclables. Coastal Cleanup Day in California dates back to 1985, but for the first time, all 50 counties were involved.
8:08, we have Henry in for Mark today.
Yeah, we're going to talk about our weather. We're going to talk about some heat, some humidity. Final hours of summer, certainly going to feel like summer, almost a little bit of a tropical summer. Humidity is one of those things we don't typically welcome too much. We don't like too much humidity. Thunderstorms, sometimes they can be an issue. Other times, a nice deviation from the norm here. But here's your live look. Laguna Beach, always tough to get a bad shot from anywhere along the coast, even with the cloud coverage. Still looks like a gorgeous start to the day here. We're talking about some subtle changes for you today. A little bit warmer, a little bit more humidity, slight risk of some thunderstorms. We'll have a better chance on your Tuesday and certainly on Wednesday. So our first couple of days of fall, fall arriving just after 11 o'clock this morning, they're going to be a little bit summer-like with that humidity and hotter conditions, warmer than the average. As we get towards the back end of the week, we will see temperatures get back to the average, maybe even below the average. Drier. It looks like a beautiful upcoming weekend. Yesterday, 84 degrees, average 82. It was hotter on Saturday, but drier. Wasn't bad yesterday. In fact, I think many of you somewhat appreciated the weekend we just had. Today, we'll start seeing a little bit more humidity. Our best chance of picking up some pop-up thunderstorms will be tomorrow, late in the afternoon, in through your Wednesday morning. So we're not out of the woods just yet with this tropical feel as we're bringing in some moisture from the south. We will lose that by Wednesday, and you'll notice the arrows that are trending onshore. Remember this arrow map? Sometimes it's very boring, and you might think, we're just throwing that in there. No, the arrows tell a big story. And this is why I like to show this to you, because it gives you a really good idea of what you can anticipate. So if we see these arrows coming in just a little slightly to the north and then pushing inland, that's generally going to cool us down. If we get a straight line effect, which are westerlies, we're going to get average conditions for that time of the year. When we get a southerly flow, when the air comes in from the south, it's going to be warmer. It's going to be air closer to the equator, and it's always going to add a little bit more moisture to it. We're going to see that over the next couple of days, just that little southerly push that's going to keep us warm, keep us humid, and keep us with at least talking about the risk of some thunderstorms. But by the end of the week, we'll see more of an onshore push, more of a northerly flow, and your temperatures will come down, and it will effectively cut off this monsoon moisture that's been bubbling up from the south. So those of you that want drier conditions, hang in there, you'll have it. Those of you that might sit there and say, I don't mind the humidity,